bill sets the amount of fines assessed to the owner or driver of a motor vehicle that is recorded exceeding the maximum posted speed limit. And like has been mentioned, it's a graduated increase in the fines. So the fines are as follows. For exceeding the limit by 12 to 21 miles per hour, that is a $40 fine. Exceeding the limit by 22 to 31 miles per hour, that's a $90 fine. For exceeding the limit by 32 to 41 miles per hour, that's a $160 fine. For exceeding the limit by 42 to 51 miles per hour, that's a $290 fine. And for exceeding the limit by 52 or more miles per hour, that is a $530 fine. There's also additional penalties for a second violation within a 2-year period. That is an additional $50. For a third violation within a 2-year period, that's an additional $150. For a fourth violation within a 2-year period, that's an additional $250. For a fifth violation within a 2-year period, an additional $300. And for a sixth or subsequent violation within a 2-year period, that's an additional $350.
Wow, thank you for that description. Does anyone have any questions? Delegate Holmes.
Thank you very much. If I could ask the council, when the bill came through E&T a couple of years ago, there was an amendment put on the bill to have the fines for the speed cameras go to designing or redesigning or reconstruction of Route 210, I believe. In our discussion yesterday with the secretary, there didn't seem to be an acknowledgement that the fines for Route 210 were supposed to go to reconstruction and or redesign of Route 210. If council could do me 2 things, please. Number one, verify that this legislation that is being put forward does not change how the fees are being paid for the design of Route 210. And number 2, if council could look at the previous legislation and see how these funds are supposed to be sent to for the redesign and what the reporting process is. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for those questions, Delegate Holmes. And I'm so sorry, everyone. I did not even realize my camera was not on. Mr. Biazar, can you respond to that?
Yeah, so I don't see anything in the bill currently as drafted that would specify how the fines are, how the money that comes from the fines, where that's supposed to be spent. I'm pulling up last year's version, and I'm looking through last year's version to see how exactly that was done. I think, did you say it was an amendment that was proposed in ENT?
Well, I think the amendment may have been multiple years ago. I'm not sure. I don't think it was last year. It may have been 3.
Yeah, this bill has been around for a few years, but Delegate Valderrama has her hand up, so she may have an answer. Would you like to respond, Delegate Valderrama?
Thank you, Chair Lehman. And Delegate Holmes, you are correct. There was an amendment that was added on in ENT subcommittee, but that was for the companion bill. That was for when we were adding cameras. This bill, the penalties bill, I only put in last session. So, but what you're referring to was the additional cameras where the
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you for the question, Delegate Holmes. It is a good one. I had thought that this bill had been around for a while longer, but that is because, as Delegate Valderrama well knows, she's been in Annapolis a lot longer than me, although I am on ENT. There have been discussions over several years about what to do about those cameras, because just briefly, not to get off on that tangent, but these are related issues, that there was legislation going back years allowing for a number of cameras along Indian Head Highway And that was, sometimes hotly debated by some of our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, frankly, that don't love cameras as much. And, as Delegate Valderrama knows, the question was, what is the right number? Should we have 2 or 3 or 5 or 10? And then that at some point, that allowance for however many cameras it was sunsetting. So that had to be renewed. And that, I guess, was when that idea came up, Delegate Holmes, about designating the fines for specific purposes related to maybe, other types of speed, traffic calming, speed control, or addressing issues with the road. Vice Chair Wood, you have a question?
Sorry,
Delegate.
I was struggling to unmute. My apologies. I didn't have a question, but I just thought it was important that I reiterate that with Delegate Valderrama said, and that this is a very serious issue for us in District 26. We are tired of seeing the lives being lost and arguing over something that to me makes absolutely no sense. These graduated fees are for people mostly who continue to break the law, putting people's lives at danger. And so this bill is extremely important for the sake of saving lives and restoring justice and legality to the traffic on this extremely dangerous highway. And I think it's important to say that because, as you mentioned, Delegate Lehman, there are people who have opposition, but their opposition is not focused on what the real reason is. This is not to make money. This is not to generate income, even though the money can definitely be used to improve the highway, right? It's about saving lives. And it's about maintaining the law.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Delegate Woods. And if there are no other questions, I was going to entertain a motion, but it looks like that we have lost Delegate Tolles, I think. So I am asking if she could rejoin us. She might have gone back to Black Caucus. So I will message her. And is it possible, Ms. Coleman or Mr. Harvey, if you could reach out to our other members, to Delegate Ivy, and who else am I missing? Who's our 6th member? There's 4 of us. 5 would be Delegate Ivy.
Delegate Alston.
Delegate Alston. If anyone has a way to reach them, I'm asking.
Austin says she can't make it because she's in an important Black Caucus meeting.
Oh, okay.
You want me to see if I could get Ivy?
Yes, please reach out to Mr. Ivy, and I am messaging Delegate Tolles.
She just said she's in the same meeting. I was briefly, unfortunately, I had to hop off.
Who said that? Delegate Tolles?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know where they are.
Okay.
But if one of them could rejoin us, I can't even entertain a motion without 4 people present. So it's not like I can say, can I have a motion in a second, with only 3 of us on here? I know Delegate Holmes is shaking his head.
I'm communicating with Delegate Tolles now. She asked if we're ready to vote. I told her, yes, just come back on momentarily so we can vote.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Just briefly, if for those who are listening and may not be aware, we did have a second bill on our agenda, and it was to address metal detectors in schools. That bill has been moved over to the Education Subcommittee. Okay, I see we have Delegate Tolles with us. Thank you for rejoining us, Delegate Tolles. I am willing to entertain a motion on PG 306 24 speed monitoring systems on Maryland Route 210.
So moved.
Do I have a second? I will second the motion. And we have Delegate Ivy here as well. So we have a motion on the floor to move favorable on PG 30624 by Vice Chair Woods and a second by Chair Lehman. Any discussion or further questions on the bill? Okay, Ms. Coleman or Mr. Harvey, could you call the roll, please?
Okay, just one second. Money. Delegate Ivy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay.
Vote aye.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Holmes,
Aye.
Delegate Tolles.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Delegate Woods,
Aye.
Delegate Lehman.
Okay, I'm sorry, we're getting feedback. Did you
Yes.
call my name?
Yes.
I vote aye.
Okay, all right, the bill moves with the favorable vote.
Thank you, members. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair
Thank you,
Woods.
Delegate Valderrama. Thank you for joining us this morning. So with that, because we the decision was made by leadership, which I think is appropriate, to move PG 30224, which is the high school metal detector program. That has been moved over to the education subcommittee. For our listening audience that is curious about that, I do not know the hearing date for that bill, but please, if you're interested, check on the delegation website, or feel free to email the delegation leadership about that bill. We do not have any further business, and I am not sure what will be on next week's agenda, but we do still have bills to get through. So we will be meeting next week, Thursday, same time, 9 a.m. Any further comments or questions? Delegate Tolles, you have your hand raised.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to, keep in mind that we have several members who are Black Caucus members, two who are who are in leadership, and so I will be back and forth. You all just may have to text me like you did if there's a lot of discussion going on. Then I'm going to have to hop off to kind of figure out what's happening. I know Delegate Austin, and she indicated we are entertaining a discussion right now that will result in several bills relating to the Black Caucus. And I know Delegate Woods, the secretary, I'm the second vice chair. So if you could just offer us some grace, just text me and say, we may need you, to hop back on momentarily like you all just did. I'll be more than happy to do that. But
Yeah, we very much appreciate that. And I totally understand about Black Caucus. We dealt with this issue last year. We know that's important, and that you're going to be back and forth. It's just that our counselor, Mr. Biazard, reminded us that we cannot even entertain a motion just to save time while we're waiting for 4 people to be in the room. To entertain a motion at all, to even ask for a motion, I have to have a minimum of 4 members present. So we appreciate you coming back in and being here for the vote. We're grateful, and we know going forward you and the other members who are back and forth from Black Caucus to subcommittee will do the best you can. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm gonna hop off. So
Yep,
thank you. I'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
I am in the position as
Okay.
delegate.
I think we're getting feedback still, but with that, thank you. That concludes this week's meeting of the Law Enforcement Subcommittee. So we will see you here in our viewers same time next week. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Aye.